Welcome to the Delta League podcast. I'm Mike AD.
I am JD.
And it's been an exciting frickin' offseason. And we have all the bloody news. So we're not gonna beat around the bush. We're gonna literally get to all the action that happened. And it's extensive. Okay? We're gonna start with the expansion draft that started because we welcomed 3 new teams into Delta League this year. We've got the Portland Riptide, the Las Vegas Royals, and the Baltimore Battalion. So we got to fill the rosters of these teams. And how they did it, the teams were instructed to expose 3 players each of their 12-man roster. And then they just took turns. So let's see what we got here. And guess who wins the draw? Portland wins the draw. Okay, Portland wins. So we've got some really decent, serviceable players in this draft. Now, starting with John Holmes Galucho, great name, from Philly. Corbin Womack from Seattle. Candy Varnetti from Memphis. KC Snapper from Montreal. He might flourish with more playing time. River Melcher from Montreal. Nate Taft from Montreal. In fact, they took all 3 Montreal players. They took them all. Then we got former LA captain Eric Rob Nicholson. He's most likely going to wear the C for this team. Then we got former Washington captain Farley Greenlaw. He's going to wear the A most likely. Then you have some players who are going to be issues or liabilities, and I see them as roster depth. Some people might see them as roster death. Okay. We got a rookie Bethlehem Cato from New York. Defensive liability. But offensive upside is hard to ignore with this guy. Nick Hoja from Phoenix, who is a great offensive player, but this guy is bad. Bad in his own end. Plus, attitude. This guy's got some attitude problems. Will Curry from Dallas. This guy's been around. Just keep him in the backcourt. Kroll Vitkovich and North Malikian from the Towers. I think the Towers were better without them. These guys. And they also took Dan Kamen, the former captain from Toronto. They took all of them. All of them, who is also a good defensive player, but an offensive liability. Plus, he has a history of injuries. Okay? So, let's move on here to Baltimore. Just a few good players. We got Oscar Zenga from Chicago. Jamie Gilmore from Chicago. This guy's been around, but I don't know how this guy got left unprotected. This guy's a fantastic guy. Mr. Mustache, Richard Mully. That one is going to hurt the team since he is leaving it. We got Bartel Omartian from Washington. He's bounced around. Maybe he can get a fresh start. Part 3. That's the 3rd team that he's been part of in 3 years. There's some choices here that seem to be selecting one-dimensional players. Like Mike Brenton from Boston, good defensively, not much else. Guido Nagaran from the Shred, same thing. Mark Pinnell from Denver, good offensive, horribly defensively. I think he's about a heartbeat away from being out of the league, but take him because he's still alive. Then there's a whole slew of underwhelming or puzzling choices here. Indigo Bard from Atlanta. She's bounced around from one team to another, and she steps away from being unemployed as well. Kane Anselmo from Atlanta. Who would take any of these teams from Atlanta? Then we got Dan Holguin from the Swarm. Fraser Brandt from the Swarm. This team should be off limits. This team is shite. Why would you want anybody off this team? Mark Dupree from Detroit. Chris Hines from Detroit. And this pick is actually good. It's Arnold Morel from Phoenix. He's the unsung player of the year this past season. And then we'll move on to the Las Vegas Royals. I mean, some amazing players, and I don't understand why the other teams didn't take them. I mean, you got Rusty Searle from Seattle, like a top flight player for any other team in the league. For Seattle, the bottom of the rung. Now, we got Damian Ellis from Denver, pure talent. Emmett Ruan from Seattle, great defensive player. Former defensive player of the year, Neil Conlon from Memphis. Trent Penzavelli from Philly. Alan Adam from Memphis. Chiki Bajorski from Vancouver. Elon Putterman from Boston, everybody's favorite Christian Jewish guy. Tokyo Kortalewi from Miami, and he's bounced around a lot. But that is a definite veteran presence for your team as a guy that's been around on teams like this. Now we get a little bit of a drop in quality. We got Laura Greco from Denver. She knows what it's like to win. But the wind blows and she's gone. We got Andy Trainer, LA, underwhelming. Bondi Reed from Vancouver, ditto. Jill Falsey from Miami, double ditto. Then we got Morgan Schur from Detroit. Not sure how long he lasted in Detroit with Mike Fratello there. He likes a certain type of player. Wesley Jazz Hands Dans, the tremendous defensive asset, but offensively, just keep him out of the offensive zone. So, before we head on to the amateur draft, what do you think?
I think we have a lot of cuts to cost here. Jesus Christ. First of all, if we've got players who are getting injured daily and nightly, from what I've seen and what I've heard, there's a lot of men who have to leave. There's a lot of men who need to stick their nose out of other people's business. And if we have a team who's absolutely shitting the bed, they either need to get their shit together, otherwise they're going to be shit out of luck when they have to find a new job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And all with injury prones, we don't need any more Samoa Joes in our life. But the fact that we can't stop players from bleeding like Ric Flair on a Sunday night, we need to start changing some enforcement around here.
Absolutely. I really don't think that the commissioner is that bad. In fact, I thought the commissioner has been very, very strong.
If anything, the commissioner has been doing nothing but giving us positives. My only issue is that can they see the bottom line?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's move on to the amateur draft for all these new players that are going to be entering the league. And some of the decisions that these teams have made. And not all of them were good decisions.
I'm praying for less Velveteens, too.
Yeah.
Let's see how these rookies do.
Okay, let's see now. Now, it's been 2 really long years for the Swarm. 2 really long years. I don't think they have a win in 2 years.
You go be on the chopping block and get their shit together.
I mean, this past season has been brutal with a capital B-R-U-T-A-L with a couple exclamation marks. Now, they finished dead last, and they get the first pick, and they got the chance to really make some waves here and improve their team, and they take Tank Hedman. Yeah, this is a bad pick. Atlanta, whose season on the court has only been equaled by its managerial incompetence. And they get the second pick, and they take Braden Huff. They could have done much better here, but Braden here is going to improve the team. It's been that bad. Then Dallas takes Head Harkness. That is a really good pick. Boston takes Jill Papp. Maybe they should have waited for the second round. And then LA takes TJ Shampoo. Horrible. Maybe they should use shampoo to clean out their brain. Then Toronto makes a great selection here. They take Katie Mustaine. Probably the best all-around player in the draft. Phoenix then takes Janice Ulrich. Probably going to make the team, but there's plenty of better players available. Philly takes Blue Fritz. The only question I have is, how did the Shred take a player whose name is Blue? How about someone like Mike Myers? Vancouver then takes Phil the Thrill D'Souza. I have a feeling he won't be thrilling the fans in quite some time. Portland then makes their first ever selection. They take Sid Funk. Not bad really, but not good. Baltimore takes J.Z. Rude. And Vegas takes Jessica Eleniak, who's going to be a liability. Miami takes Christine Semenko, who is going to make that steadily improving team better. Montreal takes El Porco Casillas. I think the only thing good about this player is the name. Does he even have a real name? It's listed as El Porco Casillas. No. Washington takes Claude Verstappen, probably the most offensively gifted player in the draft. Question would be, why did he fall so low in this draft? Rumors are attitude problem. It seems to affect a lot of these.
Everyone thinks they're Shawn Michaels at this point.
Does this guy have a problem? Detroit traded their pick to Seattle in the Tommy Anasto deal from first year, and they take Mike Musso, which, given how talented this roster is, may never play for this team. Then Memphis takes Precious Monroe, who is going to make this team. That appears to be certain. Chicago takes Clinton Black. That guy should be a country star. Scores lots of goals, but gets lost in his own end. And then New York takes Nash Michaels. Not very good. Seattle takes Robin Gunn. Not the usual Pirates quality. But there's time, and there's no rush to get good. This team is amazing. And the first round caps off with Denver taking Sarah V. Nolan. A very good selection. Your analysis?
My analysis is some of these names have to be changed. And not just for publication, but for copyrights. They have no idea the shit they're going to be in if they get these through. Having a name like Blue, this isn't Pokemon, we don't have a red. Porco, sounds like a fat fuck to me.
Well, I don't have.
From what I've been seeing and what I've been hearing, this is going to be a struggle fest.
Okay. Let's move on to the second round where it just gets frickin' better here. Portland, they take Hunter Hotz. Then Vegas takes Hercules Watt. Time will tell. Baltimore takes Roman Waits. Not Roman Reigns, Roman Waits. He's going to wait to play for a long time. Now the Swarm take Jesus Colon. This guy better walk on water or SLC is in serious freaking trouble here. Atlanta trades their pick to Denver, and then Denver takes Ginger Calabrese. Dallas trades their pick to Washington. They take John Kimball. And Boston trades their pick to Atlanta, and they for once do a good job here. They take Charlatan Witwicky. And offensively talented player, but they need all the goals they can get. LA takes Lee Bang. Isn't that a porn star? Very underwhelming. Toronto gets another good pick here. They take Lois Chahinian, and Phoenix takes Randall Kurzweil. Philly drafts Grace Potter. I don't know what's going on here in Philadelphia. They draft Blue and Grace. They need to toughen up this team a little bit. Okay, and now, I don't know what's going on here. Then they draft, let's see here, Vancouver. They take Oleg Busty. Miami gets Noah Hamilton. Washington picks Dub Serpinski. Denver trades their pick to Boston, and they take Lucky Zanzibar. And Detroit trades their second round pick because they trade all their picks. And Seattle takes Farouk Wayans DeMarco. Memphis trades their pick to Atlanta, and they pick up Veggie Balsara. Veggie. Chicago takes Carmen Kerphal, and Seattle takes Dirk Van Dyke. And I never see this guy playing for this team ever. Great name. That's it. Analysis.
very underwhelming. From what I understand, it seems like Toronto is going to be destroying everyone this year. I don't know what Detroit has been going up there despite it being such a shitty tundra. They need to get their athletes in check. This pick is going to destroy them. I don't see them coming out on top this season.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Roman, I'm a Carly Bob now. I ain't going to be covering your ass in the lawsuits.
All right. Let's move on to the third round, where things get thinner. Baltimore, they take Deacon Diego, not very good. Vegas takes Dustin Glass. Portland starts populating their farm team by selecting Amir Hunt. And SLC goes 0 for 3 here. They take Dick Schiff.
Who the fuck is Dick Shift?
Dog shit pick. Horrible. Then 2 minutes later, Atlanta takes the steal of the draft, and they take Evgeny Gino Markov in the third round. This guy is a future star. Unless they trade him. And they got a reputation for doing so. Dallas picks Horace Blankenship. Hard times in Dallas. Now, Boston trades their pick to Denver, and they select Jamal Blackmon. 3 words here. Not gonna play. LA trades their pick to Vancouver, and they take Jake the Snake Robertson. This guy is going to the minors, but hopefully he can eventually play because that's a good nickname. Jake the Snake Robertson.
As long as he can get past his coke addiction, we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Toronto trades their pick to Philly, and you pick Angel Riker. You can't make this up. Blue, Grace, and Angel in one draft.
Somebody clearly had the favorites in mind.
Exactly. They need to change the name of the team to the Philly Strip Club. Now, then, Phoenix takes Damon Benton. Philly takes Hunter Casely. Vancouver takes A.J. Stork. Miami gets a good player in Joe Kirsch. Miami trades their pick to Washington, who takes Skip Kemper. I think this guy's dead. Never gonna play. Now, New York takes Vittorio Stump. Then Washington takes Shorty Catanzaro, who is an absolute stiff. There are far better players available than dead bodies. Next, Denver takes Karen Klitschko, a good player in this draft position. But then Detroit makes one good draft pick in 2 years. They get a steal. They select Wayne Rickman. Memphis then does something stupid and takes a player with a broken back, Zach Reich. Chicago takes Fish Miller, and Seattle. Good management once more. Seattle makes a great pick at number 45 and gets Russ Person, 63rd overall. See? Good management matters.
Clearly, they need to be managed more. All I see is Phoenix coming out on top of all of this. I feel like they're going to be up there with Toronto. Besides having the best logo in the game, seem to have close to the best management in the game.
We'll see how it goes. Because anything happens in the world of Delta League. So, let's move on to the final round of this draft, where the picks become very thin and thinner and thinner. Now, Vegas takes Max Kurgan, who's a good pick at this juncture. Baltimore gets Ivan Brody. Things are looking very good. Then Portland takes Paige Sargento. Not so good. SLC takes Bobby Bastardo. That's somebody's name, and he's going to make the team. Somebody's going to just buy the jersey because it says Bastardo on the back.
To be fair, if he wants to make some money on that, add a sword to it, because that's the name of that sword.
Okay. Atlanta takes Sandy Sharts. I have no idea if people will buy her jersey just because she plays, on this team.
Folks,
I have no idea.
We want to remind you, you can't alter the jerseys. We know what you want to add. We advise you not to. You will get kicked out of the stadium.
Now, Dallas takes Chaim Mosley. Boston takes, get this, Pepsi Ferguson. Too bad she's the absolute shits. Then LA gets the steal of the round. They get Hibachi Pastorius. Great player. Toronto takes Horatio Cook, the steal of the round. Perhaps in time he can work out all his defensive deficiencies. Now, Phoenix finds a diamond in the rough here with Amicus Drummond. Philly takes Jake McFly, who's never going to play for this team. Then Vancouver takes a guy who may never play again, Vyacheslav Modry. He's up in traction after a horrific motorcycle crash. Probably won't play, let alone walk again. And then Miami selects Wes Tiedemann. Montreal takes a great player in Raj McTiernan. New York gets long-term project Kareem King. Washington pulls off an absolute larceny here, and they get Abdul Christensen at 79th overall. And then Denver takes probably the best name in the draft, Vagabond Hussey. I'm certain she's been vagabonding in the minors for quite some time. Detroit then gets Brooks Spitzer. Wow, this team makes good choices when it actually has draft picks. Memphis takes Victor Wang. Chicago takes an offensively talented yet defensively challenged player in Giacomo Trunk. And Seattle completes the draft by taking Spurgeon Lee. And that's all, folks, until next year's draft. What do you think?
This last one has been the drizzling shits. What were they thinking? All these injuries, including Vancouver. How do you hire somebody who's in a motorcycle accident?
I have no fucking clue.
We've advised them not to put on the shelf any of these players who are injured. And some of these players who have a bright future in their future, sorry to double talk, if you're not even going to have them play, why are you wasting the company's money hiring these guys? You can't just bench people because you don't want the other guy to have them. This is not wrestling. This is Delta. We don't fuck around.
Well, you know what? Now, we move from the draft to the trade deadline. And there were some players that you knew were going to get moved. And then there were players that we had no idea that they would be moved. And we'll move on to the trade deadline. And we're just going to go over some of these fucking trades. Okay. Now we got Vancouver sends disgruntled player Kolas Hottie. No, that guy's not disgruntled. He had a bad altercation with his coach, and they tried to get this guy's ass out of town. They trade him and a second-round pick to Phoenix for Nan Freiling. Vancouver also, now, they trade disgruntled star Bernie Bukila to Seattle for Isaac Parker Johnson.
Why can't these guys just stay out of trouble?
I have no bloody clue. Then, Curly Barnabani, a guy that for years has said, it's too fucking hot in Phoenix, I don't want to be here. This year they move him. He's in Toronto now.
Well, now he can enjoy construction in winter.
Yeah, exactly. He's really going to love it here. Curly Barnabani and a 2027 fourth-round pick for Ash Malik. Whew, I don't know if I would have done that. Now, Denver sends Pooh McCarthy, because he didn't want to be in Denver. I have no reason why he didn't want to be in Denver. You just won. Pooh McCarthy and a 2027 third-round pick for former MVP Vlad Millette. Now, Dallas sends Corey Vignali to Baltimore for J.Z. Rude and a 2027 second-round pick. Toronto sends Gord Maurer and a 2027 second-round pick to Boston for Dudley Kashdan. Then Montreal sends disgruntled Gus Partenza, who hates the French media, to Denver. Does this team ever make any mistakes? For Grant Nunn and a 2027 fourth-rounder.
I thought the Broncos were in the shitter.
I know. No, SLC trades their first-round pick away, and they send it to Boston for Hobo Mickelson.
I can't imagine the thought process. It's either a coin flip, throwing darts at the wall, or decapitating a chicken, seeing where it lands.
Does this team make any good moves?
Do they ever?
Like, you look at a team like Seattle, who doesn't appear to make one mistake, and this team is just...
It's just a cavalcade of fuck-ups.
100%. Now, Baltimore trades their first-round pick to Washington for a second-round and a fourth-round pick from the same draft, thinking we don't want to get the players higher in the draft, we want depth players. So instead of 1 pick, you get 2 picks. So I understand that particular thing. But Washington has another first-round pick next year. They got another one. Now, LA trades rookie Hercules Watt to Baltimore for a 3rd-round pick. As a result, Dan Holguin is sent to Maryland, and Kane Anselmo is on waivers. Now, oh yeah, Baltimore isn't done yet. They send Jamie Gilmore and a 2028 3rd-rounder to Philadelphia for Lloyd Warfield. And then, remember Vagabond Hussey? She's not in Denver anymore. It's going to Washington. He's going to Washington for Dove Serpinski in a 4th-rounder. And Kane Anselmo was picked up by Las Vegas. I wouldn't have done it. Now, let's analyze that.
Jesus Christ. First and foremost, holy fuck. See, the problem is we can't just fire our managers because no one else wants to take that job for that particular team. Unless one of our players is willing to step off the field in terms of management, it ain't happening. So, unfortunately, they're going to have to eat some shit and deal with it for a while.
Yeah.
Oh boy, though, like these picks, I see a lot of good things. I see mostly bad. What were they thinking? You can't just trade for future considerations. That means, no, you're not going to play. That means not only screwing up his shot clock and his score points, it's screwing up his future being in this sport.
Yeah. Yeah, this SLC trade where they give up a 1st-rounder for Hobo Mickelson. I understand that you want to get better now, but then you basically cripple your future by doing so. And there's no way of knowing that in 2 years' time that this guy's going to hightail it back to Boston when he becomes a free agent again. This is the issue.
See, folks, this is why you don't buy a timeshare.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Denver, I mean, they lose a very, very talented freaking player. And then they end up with the league MVP for him. And then Denver goes out and they get Gus Partenza too for I think that they got away with murder with this one. And I know Gus really wasn't happy in Montreal at all. But holy moly, Grant Non is not a good trade. Gus Partenza. They were picking him to be the 1st overall. He didn't end up becoming 1st overall.
These men need to understand that a single player is not an island. You need the entire team to function as one.
Yeah.
So when one suffers, the whole team suffers. And if one succeeds, that means the other team has to do better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to see what happens as a result of these changes. Now, let's talk about a few of the changes that are going forward for this coming year. The league has abandoned its 3-division format and said, before it can even start, the GM said, no way are we doing this. The scheduling was apparently very difficult for this format, so they decided to abandon it for now. As a result, we got 2 more teams are going to be making the playoffs this year. Teams 9 through 11 will meet in a wild card game to determine who gets the last seed in the tournament. I don't see anything wrong with this particular format.
I agree. This gives us more of a chance to actually see more of what we're hoping for. My only issue is that can the GMs keep their word on this?
Or they're just going to go back to a 3-division format.
If we have to go back to that, we need to understand that traveling expenses and the fact that we put on so many games, it's not good for your health.
Nope.
Going to this format will be the best case scenario. So let's make sure they keep their word.
Okay. Now, let's move on to what the projected finishes are going to be for this league.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Projected by DeltaRankings.com. Okay. Denver is ranked as the number 1 team in this league.
I'm shocked.
I understand. Last year, they upset Seattle. They went from not being in the playoffs to being the best team in Delta last year. This is a very offensively talented team. Not so much defensively. And the way that the league is evolving, defense is becoming an incredibly increasing attribute that you need as part of your team. That's why I think Seattle is going to be the best team in this league. They are good offensively and defensively. I disagree. I totally disagree. But there is now a gulf between 1st and 2nd place and the rest of the league by a large margin.
seems like a good 40 points.
Yeah. Now, projected to be third is Toronto. I mean, they did a fantastic job at the draft. And they got a good job of getting rid of some of their players and sending them to the expansion team and calling up the players that they need to make this team better. I think this is going to be the most improved team in the league this year. In the first season, they finished around 4th place. Then, last year, had a horrific season last year. Missed the playoffs, but they turned it around real quick. Then, Montreal is projected to finish 4th. They have to prove to me that this is real, because they've had projections last year that they would make the playoffs, and they fell off big time. Big time. Next is Chicago, who finished 2nd last year. They did not do enough to improve their team. Followed by New York, who was better last year.
That's my biggest concern for now, to be honest. But that writing that we've seen, we need to make sure none of our players were hurt in that.
Yeah. We got next Philadelphia, who's really improved this team despite the fact that they basically incorporated a porn set into their roster. Well, this team is actually much improved compared to last year. Last year, Philadelphia finished in 10th place. They're projected here to finish in, 7th place. Pretty good.
You think Chicago would be hiring the porn set, considering the fact it's the Windy City? What's the tagline? Blow me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Followed next by Washington, who's made the playoffs every year since the league started. Then Memphis, who never ever seems to be really below the playoff. Last year, started very poorly and managed to put it all together by the end. This is why your coach is the coach of the year. It's just how it is. Followed by Miami, who made the playoffs last year with 1 win.
I don't even know how it's possible.
2nd place finishes, man. They had more 2nd place finishes than any team in history, and they had 2 circumstances where they tied for 1st. So they got 1 win on the year, and they pretty much made the playoffs last year. Incredible.
If I go 1-7 in a tournament, I'm not making it to the playoffs. If I could at least get 7-1, I will make it.
Yeah.
So how they did this, I'm astonished.
Yeah, it's amazing how they managed to put that together. I'm very proud of Miami for this. Then they got into the tournament and got exposed big time. Projected to finish, where we finished? 11th place, Vancouver. Which, that team has got better. But right below them is a whole series of teams around the same quality. We got Detroit, Boston, Los Angeles, and Phoenix.
Phoenix, they need to step their game up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, their play has to equal how good that their jerseys have improved. Now, on the bottom, we have a whole bunch of teams here that are never going to make the playoffs if things don't change. That's Atlanta, Las Vegas, Dallas, Portland, Baltimore, and Salt Lake City.
Really the salt of the earth there, aren't they?
Exactly.
See, Washington I can see improving slowly with their player base since they've been a guaranteed playoff slot.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix, they're going to lose out to one of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
They don't be careful.
Yeah. You know what? LA is always projected to be very high, and in the end they always seem to fall right on their face.
Just like the Fallen Angels.
Yeah, exactly. And wow. So
these teams need to either get their shit together with what they're based off of, or maybe lose it.
Yep, exactly. Now, to close it out, let's talk about Week 1 predictions for the first week of Delta League. Okay, starting on Monday, Baltimore hosting Vancouver and Las Vegas. Throughout the preseason, Baltimore and Vegas have not fared well. Let's be honest here. I think Vancouver is going to eat these teams alive and for once start the season out on the right foot. Now, Wednesday, Portland hosts Salt Lake City and Miami.
Jesus.
Here's another game between an expansion team, a sad sack team, and a team that's finally coming into their own. Miami should win this game. If they don't win this game, this would be a catastrophic result. Now, let's move on to Friday, July 3rd, where Boston hosts Washington and Atlanta. And Washington should take full advantage of these two lesser teams and add 4 points to the kitty because, I mean, in a standings table that's going to be extremely competitive, they need to take the points when they can get them. And these are gimme points. Now, Philadelphia hosting Detroit and Toronto. Toronto, more than any other team, has improved by leaps and bounds. Philadelphia has also improved their team instead of trading all their players like normal. Now, as a result, I'm taking TO to take the 4 points and Detroit to go home with Bupkis. Now, next is Memphis hosting Phoenix and Dallas. This is going to be an interesting game, not for Dallas, because this team has a long way to go. Phoenix can't seem to get their team out of the press box, so I'm going to take the Pharaohs for 4. Then we've got Denver at home, raising their championship banner into the rafters. They're hosting Montreal and New York, and this should be the game of the week. I still think Denver is coming out on top of this one. Montreal has made some great improvements to their roster, and they're much better than last year. I just don't think they're up to the sky standard. And let's move on to July 4th, the U.S. Cup game, where it's Seattle hosting L.A. and Chicago. And I'm taking Seattle to run through these two teams and the other 17 until some kind of accident kills them all. Because this team is a juggernaut of massive proportions. And Chicago should be lucky to collect the deuce as mercy. What do you think?
I think we have some overall good starting games. I would like to talk about the future of who do you think the final 3 would be. Because in my mind, I see Washington, I see Denver, and I see Toronto.
Oh, really? Not Seattle?
I don't think Seattle's going to cut it this year.
Okay. That is a bold prediction, because I'm taking Seattle to win the whole thing all over again. It's going to take some catastrophic result in order for Seattle not to be in the final 3. But I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I think that Toronto team is very good. The whole point for Toronto is to try to stay out of the seeds whereby they could encounter Seattle in the first round.
Right, and I see for Washington making improvements since they're guaranteed seeds every year. If they can up their game, I can see them going far to the finals.
Yeah. Last year, New York did that. Where New York was in the finals, but it didn't seem to matter because guess who was in the finals? Denver and Seattle.
And now we have Denver versus New York, so one of those teams will go on.
Yeah, one of the teams will go on. But you know what? It's a long season this year. It's 21 weeks. So after 21 weeks, we're going to see who's standing at the end. So, that's it for the Delta League Podcast 2026 season preview. I'm Mike AD.
I'm JD.
See ya next week, where the chaos will undoubtedly continue. See ya.